Hello, pirates. My name's Callum Fernandez, and I would love to be your next arena assistant manager. As opposed to just typing up a normal CV, sending it through by email, and waiting for a response, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I hope you don't mind. I just wanted to kind of get across in video form why I think I would be perfect for the role, and kind of how I would hopefully fit in amazingly well with your team and kind of elevate the team to a new level. So, what I think is probably the most important fact is that my surname, Fernandez, is actually from my ancestors who were 13th century Portuguese pirates. Now, if that doesn't say that I'm custom built for this job role, then I don't know what is. Also, that kind of plays into the fact that I use Cervantes as my main in Soul Calibur, but you know, that's a story for another time. It's actually Shanghua. It's not Cervantes. But I do know how to do the teleport slam on like cooldown. It's ridiculous. As it's going to show in the CV, I was actually a member of my local game store down here in Kent. Worked there for roughly 3 years before leaving. I was only a sales assistant in that time, but I was pretty much the face of the store throughout the various iterations. We went through quite a bit of management change, staff change. The only thing that stayed consistent in that time was me. I had a whole host of regular customers who would come in specifically for my opinion, for my assistance, because they really valued my opinion. That was always one of like the points that I'd take most pride in when it came to my job. But on top of that, behind the scenes, nobody else really knew how to use Twitter, so I was entrusted with kind of cultivating that ecosystem for our store at the time. But on top of that, I was also kind of given reign of the Christmas temps as and when they came in throughout the time that I was there. I did get trained up very quickly, and I think the manager at the time had a lot of faith in me because I had back-to-back 100% secret not Secret Santa. It's close to Christmas. I was like, Secret Santa. Yeah, what was I getting that guy at work again? It was the Secret Shoppers. I got back-to-back 100%, so I've somehow like miraculously got targeted twice. So they must have taken a lot of pride in that. I took a lot of pride in that, and they gave me free reign to the Christmas temps to train them up, show them best practice, show them, you know, the importance of stock levels and shrinkages and, you know, missing CDs and drawers and everything like that. Probably like one of the last things that I did used to really enjoy the most was setting up the events that we had in store, especially around that 2012-2013 mark. I mean, my favorite one had to be the launch of GTA 5. GTA 5 was just like a monster in and of itself. You know, it made like $1 billion in a day or something crazy like that. But we kind of had this idea. We had a guy in our store who did DJing privately, so we said to him, I was like, right, have you got like your full setup? Have you got decks? Have you got speakers? Everything like that. And he was like, well, obviously I'm a DJ. So I was like, cool, do you want to bring them into store? So what we did was we put his giant speakers kind of by the front doors. The door was, one door was open, but we kind of put like almost like a blockade of sorts to make sure no one tried to jump in and steal a copy of GTA. But we had him basically performing his own private concert while customers were waiting. It went off like amazingly, and the way that the store was laid out, we had like a second and third floor. So on the second floor there's a giant projector going onto the building opposite, showing just trailers of GTA 5 and other games that were coming out around that time. That was probably like my favorite memory, but there were plenty of other times from the numerous Call of Duty releases where we actually got real wartime outfits from a shop that's like you can rent out the costumes and stuff like that. We went and rented those out. We struck a deal with them. They put little promo bits in. We were able to rent them slightly cheaper. I'll probably like flashing photos here and there about certain promo things that we did at the time. So yeah, that was like the majority of the things that I used to do at game. Towards the end of my time there, I did start to do promotional videos for pre-order campaigns. I'll put little snippets in again. I'll do like a picture-in-picture like here or somewhere. Just showing some of the things that used to be played on our store screens because I was very proud of them at the time, even though when I went to go look back at these a minute ago while sorting out this video, the editing is so bad. But it was 5 years ago. I'm a lot better than what I was. Yeah, and that was just before we managed to get like the game promotional DVDs and also the DVD player getting fixed. You know, it was all good. If I know my skill set and everything like that, I'm sure that, excuse the pun, I'm sure that I would belong in your arena with your guys. But whilst, you know, like obviously I'm saying, oh, this is game, here's sales, here's everything like that, I know belong, and I know that the arenas are more centered on those customer experiences rather than just the selling. More specifically towards esports with the Arena Clash and everything like that. While I was working at Game, there was a co-worker of mine who introduced me to League of Legends, and that became my favourite pastime, and I still play this game 6 years later. I don't play it anywhere near as much as I used to, and I'm still hard stuck silver, but I just love that game. Almost everything about it. It's kind of got a little bit nickel and dimey lately, but that's fine by me. I will never let you know how much I've spent on there. But from there, it led into like a rabbit hole. So like one evening, I was sat on my laptop and IPL 5 Season 2 World Championships for League of Legends came on. Like as a little ad on my IGN screen that I was just browsing through at the time. And I decided, you know what, I'll give that a go. Let me have a quick look. And I got obsessed with the pro scene. And ever since then, it's not just branched just like LoL esports. It's now obviously branched out as esports has grown up as well. I mean, there's CSGO. Excuse me, that was a bit of air coming out there. It's CSGO, it's Dota, it's Rainbow Six, it's Overwatch, Overwatch Champions, London Spitfire, let's go. But it was kind of always opening up, and the more I dug deeper into it, the more I loved it. I loved the personalities around it, the shoutcasters, everything around there. So to try and create that kind of PC bung culture that Korea has in the UK, to try and foster that kind of grassroots movement, I would be so honoured to be part of. And you know, kind of take the team that you have there, we foster that development so they can then, you get customers and you get kids sitting down and they begin to get really good, and you start, obviously with the Portsmouth Pirates, you know, you start beginning to get that kind of rapport going, and that would be something I'd love to be a part of. You know, obviously I've just spent God knows how long talking about, you know, all of these things about that I used to do at Game and everything like that, but it's not all play and no work. Currently I'm in a role at my warehouse that demands pretty much my full attention all of the time. So I work for currently a company called Bidfood. They do, as the name suggests, food from chilled goods, so your frozen, your vegetables and everything like that, all the way through to frozen goods, all the way through to some of the big contracts like Subway, like Five Guys and everything like that. So when you have huge contracts like that, which are worth legitimately billions of pounds for this company, you kind of have to make sure that the work that you do is solid. So as a WMS coordinator, I'm currently in front of a computer all day, making sure that stock levels are correct, making sure that the movements that staff do down in the warehouse are correct. I know how hard it can be in that warehouse because I did do that for 2 years before moving up into the current role that I'm in. But you have to kind of keep in constant contact with those teams throughout the day because there are just a litany of errors that can occur. It can be man-made, it can be complete accidents. So my day is always changing and it's hectic. It's hectic as hell, but I do enjoy it. I enjoy my job, but where I'm kind of been there for 5 years now, I've kind of done everything that I can do in there. There's something still in there that there's something more that I want to do. And when I started looking at job roles, I was trying to look to get into esports full stop. I saw this role and thought, this is the one. So that's me in a nutshell. Well, a portion of it anyway. at the risk of spelling it out, the point of me making a video, aside from to kind of stand out from the crowd, was to show the creative side. You know, this sort of content. While okay, this is almost like a vlog instead of a professional CV. It's custom content, and this is the kind of stuff that I'd love to kind of bring forward to your arena. Every time I say arena, I always think of Dr. Disrespect. It's really bad. I'll have that driven out of me. Custom content, so ongoings within the store. You can, after getting permission forms from whoever will be filmed at these community nights, you can not only take photos, you know, you just invest in a small camera, you can record, and you can make small sizzle reels that you can put up onto your Twitter. You know, whilst obviously Arena, like Belong by Game, currently is doing fantastic, and I'm sure that the Portsmouth Pirates, being a student city, being in, you know, a very high populated area, you're probably doing amazingly well as you are. I'd love to kind of create that content and bring forward ideas that are really, instead of being one of the best arenas, you will be the best arena. And also, if you need a head coach for that esports team, you let me know. So yeah, that's me. One of the last things that I wouldn't say last things, but one of the things you'll notice, one of the last things I will say, is that on my CV, I do currently live down in East Malling, Kent. Obviously that is about 3-4 hours away from Portsmouth. However, the reason I am pointing this out is to kind of allay any reservations. If I was to get this role, I'll be going whole hog. I will be relocating. I currently live in a house with my mother and my sister. It's council controlled, so they aren't going to be kind of shy money wise or anything like that. They're both in comfortable positions financially, so am I. I've already began looking at properties potentially, one of which is only about 15 minutes away from work. So you want someone to lock up and open up, I'm your man. But that's the kind of dedication that I want to bring, not only to the arena but to the team as well, because I believe that if you lead from the top and if you turn to us and say, hey, I am dedicated, I'm not forcing people to be as dedicated as me. Sometimes it can just be a job, and I completely respect that. So whilst moving to a new area would be scary, I would relish it at the same time. Anyway, this went on far longer than I anticipated it, so I'll sign off for now. To whoever is watching this, I appreciate the time you've given to watch my ramblings, and I really hope that you would enjoy it and that you welcome me aboard soon, because after all, this is a cutthroat business. That was a really bad pirate pun. I tried. I did try. Anyway, thank you again, and I hope to hear from you soon.